Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. I'm doing an impromptu live. I was planning on doing it tonight anyway, but I just found myself with free time, but less free time than I thought I was going to have, so I didn't have time to do anything with this, so I apologize. Anyway, so I said a while ago that I wanted to start doing weekly lives, and I have been very, very busy. I know some of you have seen my post about my husband starting up kickboxing classes at a studio nearby. That literally came into fruition out of nowhere in the last little while, so we've been really busy getting that up and started. So I apologize that I haven't been as present here as I'd like to be, but here I am today. So I would like to start regular hashtag relationship tip Tuesday. So we'll see how that goes. I may have to change it to a different day of the week, but for right now, we're going with Tuesdays. So anyway, the topic I wanted to talk to you about tonight, and actually it was something I've been thinking about talking to you about for several days now, I just haven't had the time to sit down and do it, is be mindful of how much you're talking about your spouse, what light you're talking about them in, and to who or whom, whatever the proper grammar for that is. Because, well, okay, let's start with how much you talk about them. If you are talking about your spouse, okay, let's talk about how much you talk about them and in what light. We're going to kind of combine the two, because if you're talking about your spouse or your partner a lot in a positive light, that's fantastic, because that is bringing your awareness more to the positive things that he or she brings to the relationship. You know, you're thinking more about the ways you're grateful for them. You're thinking about all the ways you're appreciative of them. And by doing that, by law of attraction, you are promoting more of that kind of thing, right? So that's awesome. But the problem is with most people and most situations, this is not just a relationship specific thing. We are trained from a very young age to focus on negativity. I don't know what the statistic is. Something like for every one positive thing we hear growing up, we hear 9 negative things. So we are just conditioned to be negative. So it's not your fault if you find that, and which is what I want to talk to you about today. If you find that you talk about your partner more negatively than positively, like if you, and this is the other thing, most people really only share stories with people around them when they need to get it off their chest or they need to vent. You're more likely to complain about a restaurant than you are to go out of your way to put a good review of a restaurant, right? That's unfortunately just the way it is. So it's the same with your partner. You are much more likely to go into to work and complain to your coworker about what an ass your husband was last night than you are to say, hey, he brought me flowers and then he made me dinner, or just a simple, he let me watch my show last night instead of watching the hockey game, or whatever it is, right? Like, you are much more likely to talk about the negative thing, and you're much more likely to repeat it over and over to different people. Right? Like, you're going to tell your coworker, and then you're going to tell your mom, and then you're going to tell your best friend, and then you're going to tell your cousin, and then you're going to tell this other girl you talk to. And now with, the prominent use of Facebook, it's basically like, it's a huge part of our lives. Well, especially for me, because I do majority of my business online. But people are also more likely to vent on Facebook because they feel detached, I guess, from the outcome or whatever. So they'll air their laundry right on Facebook. And so, that's not good for several reasons, right? One, if you have your partner on Facebook too, you don't want to be posting things that they may even maybe misconstrue as towards them. Now, to be fair to that point, you cannot make anybody in a bad mood. You cannot make anybody mad. You cannot make anybody sad. Emotions are chosen, just like nobody can make you sad or make you angry or make you happy. Those are chosen emotions, okay? So as far as Facebook statuses go, like the vague posts about your partner or whatever, like it's just not really a good idea, right? Like, it's just, like I talked about earlier about, I don't know if it was a video or a written post, I forget now, but about the text messages and how technology is not really a good medium to use to poke at your partner or to vent or to ask them to do things. Definitely not a good way to start an argument. Like, you definitely want to have those conversations in person. I generally, as a rule of thumb, I would say keep technology positive, keep your text messages positive, keep your emails positive, keep your Facebook statuses positive, but whatever. Anyway, so back to my point. So the more negatively we talk about our partner and the more often we talk about our partner in a negative light, the more you are bringing that to you for a couple of reasons. One, like I said, by law of attraction, what you put out, you're bringing to you, right? So if you're putting out negative vibes and you're in a bad mood and you're pissed off at your partner for whatever they did, and you're thinking about all the ways that they wronged you in the last couple of days, and and that reminds me, you did this 2 years ago, and like what's happening is you're basically asking your brain to look for more examples of that same negative situation. So even if there's good things going on, they are not going to stand out to you as much as the negative things, because you're literally asking your brain to look for the negative scenarios, okay? So that's why I'm saying you want to limit the amount of time you spend complaining about your partner, because it's not going to fix anything. It's not going to make them a better person. It's not going to change your mood. It's not going to correct anything. Like, all that's going to happen is you're going to get riled up every single time. And the problem is that's where resentment starts to build up too, because what's going to happen is you'll start to think about it. And then, like I say, you'll think about what you did 2 weeks ago, and then what she did a month ago. And then, it goes on and on. It's a perpetuating thing, right? But also, every time you get hyped up about it, like you're like I said, you're training your brain to look for more scenarios like that. And that's not, you don't want to be looking at your partner in that kind of negative light, right? Because you're going to bring it home, and whether you are consciously aware of it or not, you are then also continuously punishing them for whatever they did because you haven't gotten over it. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of brings me to my third point about careful who you vent to, also who you share these negative things with, because not only, like I said, is it not great to perpetuate the problem and keep it, top of mind and bring more of those negative things to you, but also, depending on who you're talking to, they are just going to give you the feedback that they think you want to hear, because they don't want to hurt your feelings. Like, it's very rare that somebody is going to tell you that you're in the wrong when you're venting about something you're pissed off about, right? So you want to definitely be careful about who you talk to for another reason too. Not only is it about their opinion of the situation, because ultimately somebody else's opinion of your relationship is none of your business anyway, and it's definitely none of their business, but whatever. But also because when you vent about your partner to your family or your close friends, because like I said, you're more likely to talk about something negative than something positive, what you're also going to notice starts to happen is that your friends and family will start to associate your partner with the negative stuff you've told them about him and all the issues he's caused or she's caused in your life, right? And because again, it's not unlikely, but it's less likely you're going to go, oh, Mom, guess what he did for me today? And oh, sister, guess what? He brought me these cards and all, like, it's less like, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's more likely that you're going to, what is going on with this hair here? My goodness. It is more likely, you guys, curly hair problems, I'm just going to say. It's more likely that you're going to vent to your family and friends about your partner than you are going to, quote unquote, boast about how awesome they are, right? So, like I say, what's going to happen is you're going to start to put this negative tone over their relationship with your partner too. And that's not good either. And I'm not saying don't vent to anybody, but what I'm saying is be careful about who you vent to on a regular basis, and try to find people to share these things with that are going to give you an honest reflection of what's going on, right? Like, somebody who can say, okay, you know what, like, from my third party stance, this is what I see. And you don't necessarily have to find somebody who wants to blame you for everything, but definitely some things are going to be your fault. And whether the other person you're talking to is going to point that out or not will make a huge difference, right? So that's one of the reasons why, in my Revive Your Relationship in 90 Days program, I offer the 24/7 Voxer, voice messaging app, support with me, because when you're going through, especially those 90 days of the program are going to be very transformational, right? You're going to learn a lot of things about yourself. You're going to learn a lot of things about your partner by observing, right? And by, through the things that we're going to go through in the program. And you want to make sure that you're sharing the parts of your relationship that you're, I don't want to say not proud of, but maybe the things that need working on, the things you want to vent about. Do that with me, because I can, not only am I helping you, so, it's beneficial too. If you end up taking the program, the more you can vent to me, the more clear of a picture I can get of what actually is going on in your relationship. You know what I mean? Because it's one thing for you to say, okay, I think X, Y, and Z is the problem. And that may very well be what the problem is, X, Y, and Z. But it's also possible that there's also A, B, and C that you maybe didn't consider, or that are making X, Y, and Z worse, or that are where X, Y, and Z grow from. I don't know if that makes sense, but what I'm trying to say is, like, if the more you can vent to me versus sprinkling your vents over people you work with and your friends and your family and stuff, the more clear picture I can get of what's going on and the better I can help you. And if you limit the number of people you tell about things that frustrate you, like let's say your partner burnt dinner and then you had a huge fight and then they stormed out and whatever, it happens, right? If you limit the number of people you tell, first of all, you're not reigniting that flame every time you talk about it. You're limiting the number of people who can give you feedback like, oh yeah, he's such an asshole. Oh, what, you could do better than him. Oh, da-da-da-da. Like, okay, you know what? That's fine. Maybe you could, but maybe it's not all his fault. Maybe there's more to it than just this one. Like, generally, the arguments you'll have with your partner, there's way more to it than just the one thing, right? Like, it's way, way deeper than that. And that's why I encourage you to share those things with me, because then I can say, like, I can really dig deep and discover what really the problem is. Do you know what I mean? Or get a better idea of what the problem is. But also, then I can give you a perspective on the situation, and maybe, okay, I've had several ladies in this group already reach out to me on their own about different things, and I've been able to change the perspective on the situation. Like, all I'm really doing is just telling them what's really happening from a different point of view, right? Because it's human nature. You're only going to see it originally from your point of view, and that's totally fine. And that's how humans function. And that's why we have to seek guidance and support for things like this. And that's why relationship coaches are so helpful. Relationship coaches are so helpful, is because I can do that. I can help you uncover what's going on and change your perspective so that not only you feel better about the situation, I can help you figure out what you can do about it, maybe how to change your approach the next time, because all that you can do is change how you handle things and how you approach things. You're never going to change the way somebody else functions. So that's, if you are only looking to fix your relationship because you want to fix the other person, then you might as well not bother, because that's never going to happen. They have to be willing to change on their own, just like you have to be willing to change for you to see any change in your relationship. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I hope all that makes sense. If anybody has any questions about the Revive Your Relationship in 90 Days group coaching program, which is going to have a heavy, heavy content of one-to-one coaching. I don't know how many people have had a chance to see the little snippet I did, but basically it's going to be 90 days or 12 weeks of live group coaching sessions with Q&A sessions at the end. There's going to be option to watch the replay afterwards. I'm also going to have a separate Facebook group for those ladies in the program, where I'm also going to ask, the group coaching sessions are going to be on Fridays, for the most part at least. So on about Wednesdays, I'm going to post for a group call of questions, so people can let me know what their questions are so I can address them in the next group coaching session, plus go over the new content we're going to go over. And then included in the program as bonuses is the self-care box, which I'm so excited about, you guys. Like, I spent so much time picking out just the perfect items to go in this box, and I'm so excited. I think I might even get one for myself because it's so great. And then you also get 6 private coaching sessions with me. So those would, I mean, I'm recommending they be done on a bi-weekly basis, but you can schedule them whenever you need. And then also the 24/7 Voxer support. So that's the voice messaging app where you can record for 15 minutes. For those times that you need to vent, for those times that maybe you've got in an argument and you don't know really what to do, or, you know, how, because we're going to learn a lot of things in the program, obviously, and there's going to be times probably that are going to come up and you're going to get into a fight and then you're going to go, oh, I should have been doing this and I didn't even remember about it. And then you can Voxer me really fast and go, this is what happened and this is how I did it and I know I shouldn't have, but now I don't know what to do. How can I make it better? You know, and be genuine about it without telling him that I'm, you know what I mean? So those are the kinds of scenarios. Or, you know, he comes home in a bad mood and you know that the old you would jump at the opportunity to argue with him, or at least not avoid an argument, but the new you doesn't want to do that. So you can Vox me really fast and go, okay, he came home in a bad mood and I don't want to, this is my phone. He came home in a bad mood and I don't want to fall into old patterns, but I'm not really sure how to approach it. Like things like that, right? So I hope you can see the value in that aspect, because it is, I think, a huge bonus. Those are things that I normally only offer to my one-to-one clients. But I really want this group coaching program, anybody who takes part in it, I really want you to get everything you possibly can out of it, which is why I added in the one-to-one coaching and the Voxer support, because I think it's going to be really important that you get that. But anyway, just in a general basis though, whether you do the program or not, whether you stay in this group or not, whether you take anything else I say to heart or not, try your hardest to be mindful of how much you're talking about your partner in a negative light and to who you're talking to them about, who you're talking about them to. Because like I say, the more you focus on only the negative things that they do, the more that's going to stand out to you, the more of that you're going to bring to you. And that's not good in any relationship, especially one. If you're here in this space, it means that you have probably at least one to many issues in your relationship that you're trying to work through. So you want to limit the amount of extra stuff that you're adding to the plate that you want to fix. So try, when you're talking about your partner, to limit the negative stuff, promote the positive stuff, tell them how much you appreciate them more, and then really be mindful of who you're talking about your partner with. Because I know, like for me, and I'm talking from experience here, because I, for the longest time, was venting to everybody who would listen. Because of course you guys know that we've been on the brink of divorce several times. So obviously we've gone through a lot of rough patches. I've done a lot of complaining. And almost nobody told me what I needed to hear. They all were like, yeah, well, he's an asshole and la la la. And like, no, I wish somebody had said to me what I say to some of you guys and give me some actual like guidance rather than just agreeing with what I have to say because I'm mad and you don't want to upset my feelings. Like I would like to actually have had some help, which is why I'm doing this, which is why I'm here for you ladies, which is why I'm doing this group program, because I want to help you and get you through this time in your relationship smoother than I went through these times in my, like I did it several times and I don't want you guys to do that. I'm trying to help other people not have to go through the gong show that I went through multiple times, right? So anyway, that's what I'm saying. I'm speaking from experience because I spend a lot of time complaining about my husband to anybody that would listen, and you know, and then I kind of painted him badly, and I didn't mean to. And of course, he has, and even then had amazing qualities, still did awesome things for me, is still a great husband overall, but I was choosing to look at the negative. I was only sharing the negative things with other people. And then, like I said, I painted him in this bad light, and some people thought he was a total dick, and he's not. And I was just like, and now, you know, it's hard. You can't really backpedal now. I mean, ultimately, I don't really care what people think about me and my relationship or what they think about Derek. Like, we are very happy, and I really don't care what anybody thinks. But, you know, at the same time, it's like, I feel bad that I put him in that position to make him look bad in the first place. Do you know what I'm saying? I should have just kept more of that to myself and stuck to like one person I was venting to, or like two people I was venting to, who would also be diplomatic and give me, you know, third party perspective without just agreeing with what I was saying. Anyway, that's that. I hope this was helpful. The first official Relationship Tip Tuesday. I will probably see you live here more than just Tuesdays, but Tuesdays for sure. I hope you guys have a great evening. And there's a new moon tomorrow. So if anybody's into spirituality and like moon stuff, make sure you do your new moon ritual. Put together your new moon wishes. New moons are great for putting intentions out into the universe for your coming months. So I don't know, take that for what it's worth. Okay, you guys have an awesome night. I will talk to you soon. Take care.